like I did. Who's in the other?
So, Cameron Diaz.
No, I didn't.
So the other woman was a sleeper for me. The other woman is one of those kind of chick flicks. It's very romantic comedy thing. I didn't see it when it first came out. Right. It was years. I think it had been out 2 years. I know what you're talking about.
I'm like, oh, I need to see it. Yeah.
And so I wasn't even driving or thinking about seeing it, right?
Right.
I just happened to be home one day, and I'm not a television watcher, so I'm flipping. This is if I get to a television and I have some downtime, I'll go and I'll start flipping the channels. I stumble upon the movie.
Right.
I like Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
It's about a woman who's married, and then her husband has an affair with Cameron Diaz, but it's not an affair for Cameron Diaz because she thinks this is her man.
Ah, gotcha.
And so Cameron Diaz finds out he's married, and the wife finds out he has a girlfriend, and then they both end up finding out he has a younger girlfriend.
Okay, I remember the movie, but I didn't see it, but I remember the concept of the movie.
But here's where it became real in my world, in our world, when the wife knocks on Cameron Diaz, the girlfriend's door, and says to her, Cameron Diaz opens the door, and she's like, why are you here? They'd already gone through the whole, you're the other woman. Yes, I didn't know that I was the other woman. He's married. I'm not dealing with anymore. You can have your husband, right? This is your problem, not mine. But the wife is gunning for her, like showing up at her job. She shows up at her house. And Cameron Diaz is like, why are you here? Like, I didn't do anything. I didn't know he's married. He's yours. And she says, through tears, holding her dog, the leash to her dog, but I mean, I don't have anybody to talk to. You're the only person that understands because everybody else is like me. And when she says that, that's the truth. Who do you go to and say, okay, I am going crazy. I don't feel like me. Like, I know that I'm doing this thing, but I don't feel like me. So if you don't find another you who admits that they are you.
Right. And that's so interesting you say that, because that for me was the hardest part of being here in the suburbs, because I knew that, I was building relationships with women based on my things and my kids and not based on me. And so and I still struggle with that. I would say I struggle with it, but I recognize, I value friendship very much. I value connection a tremendous amount, but I've gone through too much deep stuff that I can't just have an ear, that's just kind of like, oh, well, it'll be fine. And it's like, no, did you hear anything I just said? like, I'm like, it's just, and I remember like last year was a really tough year. And when you and I talked, you got it. I mean, so we could talk about it and we were there. And I remember going to lunch with a group of women who I hadn't seen in a while. And I started telling them some of the stuff that was going on, and they didn't know what to do with that information. They didn't know what to do with it. And so so they were just like, okay. And so then such and such and such, it just changed the subject.
And
I was like,
wow.
Right. And I'm like, did you guys just hear what I just said? Like this is like a lot going on here. And maybe
because the answer isn't always, because we joke about this is in our women's girls group, right? Girlfriends group, Girl, just go to Jamaica,
right?
When you meet up with Dexter for
It's like no, I can't go. Well, no, but this group, because at least you have that. I had established. And this is when it got real for me, like, wow, you have not been anywhere near you. Because you don't even have girlfriends that will say that.
Right. Oh.
Like, they won't even say, girl, just go to the trip. Or, girl, you need a spa. Or, girl. No, these are women that are so removed. They don't even know what to say. Like, it's changed the subject. Like, just not even really acknowledge that you're going through a lot. And I'm going to say all, but there was, this particular lunch that I was at, that's what happened. And I was like, what have I really haven't given you guys me. Like what I gave you really isn't me. Because you guys don't know what to do with this at all.
They're not even equipped to handle it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Because then their shit's going to come.
That's exactly. Because then they have to say, okay, that sounds like.
Kind of like I've been going through.
And they don't have anybody to talk. Or, let me tell you who they talk to. They talk to the relative, the mom, the sister. Who says, girl, you got it good.
Right. Yes.
Suck that up and keep on moving. Go and, write a check Or,
yes.
buy you a new purse that costs a couple thousand.
And I was even questioned on that, like, well, what could be wrong? I mean, you got this, you got that.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, oh my God.
Yes, you see the things. Let me tell you, the things. So the things, men have it so they get, I'm telling you, they're on it. They make a lot of money, you feed this and it's good. Right. And I love when we get together with the girlfriends because we don't talk so much about the men. Right. We talk about who we are, each other in that empowerment of self. Right. But you got to be willing to dig. You got to be willing to say something isn't right because everything can't be perfect. Like you really can't spend like your entire existence on all the superficial. And we know that. Right. I don't see. That's the whole.
But I see a lot of people go there because it feels safe for them, and I really had to change those relationships, and not to because I value people too much. I value people's stories. I know that it's not about me. I used to personalize it more, but now I understand that if we can't come together and have a real heart to heart, and I'm giving some heart, but you can't. This isn't because you don't like me or because, it's because your own journey hasn't got you in that set space yet. And so you're not going to be able to give what you don't have. And so I've just learned that, I'm not going to keep reaching out in that space for that. Now I can reach out in that space for other things, more simple things, maybe, depending. So all of that to say, I mean, so a lot has shifted beyond, you feel a lot of people, oh, you're you now. It's like, yeah, but I had to really shift my friendships. I had to, my whole life literally had to change.
But even in that instance with shifting friendship, that's the ones that are not feeding us or driving us or we're not being fulfilled. Right. I also found that this was the sad part for me, as God moves me, and I'm wondering if this applies to you as well. There are friends that it's just time.
Oh yeah.
Like it has nothing to do with we don't align, we don't think the same. It's you can't. You go to those women we talked about earlier. You can't connect because their world is very different, or they're comfortable in that, right? Even if they don't want to admit their uncomfortableness. Right. But then there are those friends that are not moving. Yeah. They're stuck in a different kind of way. Yeah. But here's the thing that I found with those friends, the friendships, they're still rooting. Yeah. They're still cheering. Yeah. Somehow the universe knew that you were moving beyond. Yeah. I mean, and those are the sad ones for me. Because I don't personalize the others. I really don't give a shit about the others. But it's the ones that I really had a connection with. That it's like they're seeing you. They got off. Yeah. And they're like, okay, I can't take you any further. Or the shaking of the tree. The leaves, how it shakes. And they're saying, I wish you would.
Are they still supporting you though?
They're supportive.
Yeah, right.
They're supportive.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's sometimes a lot with family.
Yes, they would be in that family friend. Yeah, they know you.
They know me well. And see, the thing that's tricky, the people who've known me my whole life, they know this creative part of me. They know it. They know that is a big part of me. So they would never try to discourage or anything because they know that's the heart of me. But like you said, they don't know what more to kind of do beyond that. Like, to kind of, you're my connector and we can keep,
like you fought the calls fall off, the conversations fall off, the connections fall off.
They fall off, right. And I think it's natural. I mean, I think even with, it's just kind of a natural part of aging too, but I think particularly with social media being the way that it is, and you have everybody's stuff so in front of your face all the time, like, people that you wouldn't have even thought about or whatever, now you see every day of their life, and it becomes even more. For me, I'm feeling like social media is something I'm really cutting down a lot because I don't want to read into things. How do I say this? Those friendships, I don't want to, and I have found myself doing this. It's like, well, she never likes my stuff. Or does she see that I'm doing this? Like, we used to be really tight. I've never seen her like, or
that's another kind of.
Right. And I'm like, okay, is that fair? Like, one, is she in your feed? Maybe she got sick of seeing stuff and has unfollowed you. And so now you're just not in her feed. She doesn't see. You know, and I'm like, this is stupid. This is Facebook. Like, this is dumb, you know? And if this is really, if I've pissed them off, or if there's something serious happening here, then it will come in its serious space, not Facebook. And so I think it's getting even more kind of weird with this whole social, because I feel like I have fans now, you know, so the fans don't know you, so they're like rah all day long. So then that can get you in a false high, because they're just doing because they like what they see, you know, but they don't know you. So you don't want to get too high and comfortable and I'm well liked, I'm well whatever, because Boo Boo said like it every time I post, but I don't know Boo Boo.
Right.
So like, you know, so there's this weird reality, I think, that's kind of happening.
That's interesting, a weird reality.
Yeah, that's happening, because it's like, that's not, when I'm posting and sharing and doing stuff, part of it is, yes, I want to share the good news, and that's good. But another part of it is, I'm trying to grow my followers. This is now a business. I do this at 7 in the morning, I do this at 7 at night, because this is the times where people blah, you know, so I can't get caught up. It's a weird, so now people are boosting me up who don't know me, and they're just, and so is that really me? Am I feeding into something that's not really me, and then wanting something back that is really me?
I think it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah,
I think that you have to find your reality in it.
Yes,
and so we have those people that really don't know us, that want us to be like them, and when we're not like them, it's a disconnect, right?
Yeah,
and so you're okay with those kinds of people falling out. And then you have your family and your close friends who really know you, but they know they can't their spirit knows that they can't take the journey with you, but they're still supporting you, but they really have, they're not in your feed, your everyday feed, and then you have those people who love you for what you bring to the table, and they're liking everything you're doing, and so there's that other place of what happens to those people that were rocking with me in the beginning, that were my real friends. So that's happened to me. Yeah. And so that happened year one. Everybody was, oh my God, LSH, it's going. Yeah. Year two, they're nowhere to be found. Yeah. But I had to reconcile with that. Yeah. Because part of the reconciliation is realizing everybody can't, because I went through that sad part of, oh my gosh, like real friends I'm not connecting with. Forget Facebook, like the real people. But in all of that, Stu, was everybody can't go with you on this journey. I have had a conversation specifically with a friend that I trust. It's okay. Yeah. And when I got that, I reset my clock. Yeah. No, and resetting the clock, I am really okay with. If 300 of people who like me, I've never said across from ever. What it says is, I am where I'm supposed to be because he put me here in this space. Yeah. And that those people that I'm supposed to have in our paths will cross. We'll connect when we're supposed to.
That's it. And I feel like I have, you know, I think that I have like these stragglers. I call them like for the most part, I'm in that same space, and I really value, for me, artistically, because ultimately when I'm releasing music, I'm hoping that somebody can get something from it. So when a complete stranger can say, I really enjoyed it in this, that is really huge to me, because you're not my cousin.
That's right.
You're not obligated to say anything. You know, you can easily pass this along. So the fact that you are acknowledging it and we don't have any connection other than you hearing the song, to me, artistically, it lets me know, good, okay, I'm in the right space. Yeah. I think that I still have a couple of I call it straggler, where I thought there was a more meaningful connection. Yeah. And I'm learning, not just by Facebook or whatever, but I'm just learning that in the personal, when I've gone through stuff, I had a very interesting situation last year. I was going through something, and a person who I thought I was connected to I felt like, okay, I need to talk to this person about